good?
Yes.
All right, cool. What is going on YouTube? Again, back again. One day after I was just back. And as you can see, we're on the same couch. And I have another person I would like for y'all to meet. This is my cousin, and she will remain nameless because she wants to remain nameless. Now, I appreciate my forever growing 4 subscribers. We're still at 4. And I said 4 on my other video, but I just uploaded the other video today. I'm working on the other video now. I'll get that out to y'all. So to my 4 subscribers, just wait and see. Right now we're going to be talking about mental health because it has become such a big situation doing it. So we want everybody to try to help to deal with their situation the best. And you know, just get it. Pretty much, we just trying to get more out of life, man. We want everybody to enjoy life. I'm pretty sure she'll agree. And she will go by the name of.
I'm everything.
Everything. We'll just leave it at E.T.
Yes.
So E.T. is here, and she's here to help us out with this issue, since it was a huge issue in 2017. We're gonna try and wrap this shit up for 2018. You want to get in a little bit of background, right. Maybe bring them into your world?
Not only is mental health a big problem right now, but it's a big topic. It's a hot topic right now, as well as mindfulness being, mindfulness has become a cultural thing right now. A lot of people are talking about mindfulness, and a lot of people don't even know where that actually came from. And it actually came from a lot of therapists and talk therapists and cognitive therapists through mental health. So
right, and we're here to help those who really want to be helped, not the attention grabbers or the people who think they have something because they feel some type of way. We want, go check that out, get more informed. This is information based, from a person who doesn't claim anything into a person who has some mental health issues. Like, this is real talk right here.
Actual diagnosis, a nice list.
We get into the real nitty gritty here. First thing we want to talk about is not being afraid to talk to your doctors and being intimidated with them because they have a doctor before their actual name, which that's not even a mental health issue. That's with people's health. That's with physical health. That's with a lot of health. Like, we need to be able to talk to motherfuckers about whether your skin's itching or whether you feel some type of way in some type of situation and you want to deal with that. We got to get down to the bottom of it. So what are you saying when you talk about not being intimidated by the doctors? What are some situations that you've been into where you felt like they were trying to just push you into some place that you didn't want to be?
Well, first, I do want to say that I'm well aware, as well as the doctors are aware, of white coat syndrome. They don't always acknowledge white coat syndrome, and I realize it is a real thing, where people do become flustered. They have high symptoms of fight, flight, or freeze when entering into a hospital, entering into a doctor's office, or just seeing a doctor, period.
Even with a cold. That's real. That's real.
So that's a real thing, and I realize that some people out there have to be dealing with that. I've experienced it myself after having traumatic experiences. But what I have to say about not being intimidated is you must first be informed. Once you have, knowledge is power, and they know that, because once you are informed and you have that knowledge, they have no choice but to have the conversation with you, and they have to be honest, or else they're malpracticing. Then if they're not honest and they're misinforming you when you know the facts and you know the truth, then they're coming.
You're about to be a civilian. You're about to be a civilian, and don't nobody want that. You better feed your family. So getting into the next topic. Now that you've understand that there is some white coat syndrome, let's talk about being informed on your diagnosis. Whether that be on the medical side or the holistic side, because it is always good to get 2 to 3 opinions in order to see what you think is actually going on with you, because I mean, these are just words that are coming out of people's brains, and you got to understand what words are best suited for you to see, like, oh man, this person says, and that's really how I feel. This person is giving it to me like this, and I really feel like that. That's probably somebody you want to talk to.
Right. So with being informed, and me personally, that can come from, you have to be careful on the internet, because with mass communication, anybody can put anything out there. But
people who are not dealing with it and could just write their experience as if they actually had it to fuck you over. There are a lot of fucking trolls on a lot of sites. Watch yourself. Get the right info.
Right, which comes to reading. The internet, it is great because it'll spark a thought. It's definitely food for thought, but that's when you really have to dig deep. So I would say read. You have a local library, that's free. Go in the libraries. They have psychology books there. They have actual college textbooks that have been used over the years that you can look up your diagnosis and read about the symptoms. You'll be able to decipher, okay, I have this symptom, but I don't have this, so it might fall under this. Something that the doctor, there's thousands and thousands of syndromes and mental illnesses that they never even speak of, because they're trying to lump everybody together and, just
get them in, get the buck, get them out.
Exactly. So you need to be specific to you, because each individual is very, very different. So what I say is read and keep reading. Not only should you read the diagnosis books, you should read the self-help books to know the situations that are closest to you, the scenarios that are closest to you, and how exactly are you going to work through. You have to be able to set goals for yourself with this stuff. So that's why, another reason it's very important to be informed. Reasonable and rational goals for treatment and for your diagnosis. So about being informed, as far as speaking with your doctor, be familiar with the terms. You have to be informed on your legal things, knowing your rights.
Knowing your rights is huge, no matter where you're going.
Right, as a human, but also as a mental health patient. You don't want to get yourself into situations that you can't get out of, because once you become ECO'd, TDO'd, if you don't know what that means, emergency custody order, or temporarily detained, you lose some of your rights.
Very true. If you say too much too quickly, that's what happens, and things like that. It's just pretty much like the police department.
It's happened to me several times.
So honestly, like, actually know what you're talking about, know what you can or shouldn't say before you get there, so you can have a clear conversation. And honestly, I mean, they need to know what's going on best with you anyway, in order to be able to, like, help you the best. So with the best help, like, you need to be saying the right things at the right time to get the best help.
Which is why I was saying, read other people who've been through your situation, so that you know scenarios that are close to you.
Especially, I mean, because the mother side of my family does have problems with mental health. So it maybe even talking about it with an older cousin or your aunt or your sister, like mom, things like that, that'll also help.
Talking with an actual person would definitely, that's where a lot of people's depression comes from. That feeling alone and feeling isolated, feeling ostracized. Definitely you want to talk to another person in person, other than to have a closer connection, other than just reading it. And having that connection and a good relationship with someone who you're both on one accord is almost just as good as having cognitive talk therapy with a professional. And that's coming from someone who's been dealing with depression for over a decade. I'm 23 years old now. I've been seeing some sort of counselor in the psychology field since I was 4 or 5 years old. So I know what I'm talking about. I have a lot of experience with this. Having a personal support group and a group of people around you, even if it's only 1 or 2 people, 1 is better than none. just to be able to say, hey, I've been there and this is how I got through.
And with
Testimony's half the battle.
And with that, don't choose a toxic person it's more fun to be around with, because it's probably easier to go there because you know you're going to get whatever it is you go over for, that stimulus that you go over there for, as opposed to somebody that's going to like bring you back home, like mentally.
Definitely, grounding is a big thing. So with being informed, what you do want to do is look up the cases, look up the laws, make sure you have your vocab down, make sure that you know all of the symptoms. The signs and the symptoms are very, very important, because that goes back into getting yourself into situations you can't get out of. When you know your signs and symptoms and you're aware of self, you're able to catch yourself before it snowballs too far and you're in a position where you can't make decisions for yourself, where you're incapable of actually taking care of yourself. So it goes back to check yourself before you wreck yourself. It's an old saying, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these mental illnesses can be the difference between life and death. A lot of times, people within 2 minutes, that switch, once your anxiety hits a certain level and your brain goes from the yellow zone into the gray zone into the black zone.
This is through experience talking, and she's telling you to go read this, but she's saying to you, sometimes you need to know yourself, so you know you shouldn't be in that situation.
Exactly. And that's even getting specific with things like that. If you know that you're dealing with PTSD, you should know by now your signs and triggers. If you know that every time going into this space makes my body uncomfortable, you have tremors, you have cramps, you have radiating pain, you have, all sorts of things that can be signs and signals that you should know aren't normal for you when you're in your relaxed state. So if you know you're dealing with PTSD, you avoid your triggers, you talk with your professionals about environmental change, because a lot of programs you get into, they can then help you in halfway programs, transition programs, hospitalization, so that your team on the outside can change your environment for you, and possibly you'd come home to a new and better situation altogether. It's important for not only you to be informed, but for you to be able to tell your family, because even though it affects us the most when you're personally going through it, it affects the people that love you as well.
I'm glad she brought that up, because that is one firsthand experience I do have, because our cousin also has been in and out of hospitals, and I lived with her for a short stint, and not knowing, I was young, I didn't look it up, I didn't know what was going on, I just know she wanted to be alone, and that's kind of all I felt. I've already been weird emotionally, like for like a going on a decade now too, so I didn't know how to deal with it. So it is something, like she's saying, like your environment as a whole needs to know where you're staying at, like they need to know, so you can be at ease in your safe haven, which is your home.
Exactly. And that goes into, the great Malcolm X said this. He said, when you replace the I in illness with we, illness becomes wellness. When you replace the I with WE, illness becomes wellness.
Great man.
Malcolm X said that. And wellness is overall wellness. That's spiritual wellness, mental wellness, environmental wellness, physical wellness, which would be, body health,
diet, exercise. That in fact, we're gonna save that for a little bit later, but go, keep going, keep rolling.
So you have all of these different states of wellness, because wellness is an overall thing. And it has to be taken seriously, and that includes your relationships. Social wellness, that's a thing. That's safe practices for you. So what we keep pumping out here is knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. You have to be informed.
If you know better, you do better.
It'll help you better deal with other people. Being empathetic, helping you better deal with other people who might not be the same as you.
And
we're all living here, coexisting.
And that's honest. Even if you're not diagnosed, like, think about what she just said. You can still use something like that to better your life. Like, why not become more empathetic? You know what I'm saying? That's a good quality, right? So it's why not? It can go for you.
Right. And when you do say illness, you don't have to think, oh, I'm sick, like I'm mentally sick. You don't have to think that way. Just think you're working on your wellness. We're all works right now. We're here from birth. We're all number 9s, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Every day is a growth period. Every single day. Seeds, soil, flowers, you guys. I'm serious. It's a daily process. This is all a process. These people that you see that are older than you, twice your age, 3 times your age, they're still growing. Still growing. So you don't have to be down on yourself. You don't have to wear these pins and wear these tags if you don't want them. I understand that the vocab is the vocab. It's what it's called. What everything is made up. Stay woke. And not what that's
right.
Like everything is made up. Stay woke. So they've just put, this is just the word that is used for it. There's probably a genius word for it as well. But spiritual wellness and mental wellness, if you take it into the spiritual world, people practice different religions. You practice yoga, meditation. You know what I'm saying? Meditation has become religion for a lot of people. Yoga has become religion for a lot of people because it's a daily routine. Yeah, go ahead.
And where we're going to go with that is, since we've talked about all that, we're going to go into where do we go from here? Like, this is 2018. This is a different year. So we're gonna talk about some of these things to help. Like, and these help the regular person. This is what I'm saying here, because you don't have to be diagnosed to also feel like you're in some type of slump or something like that either. You might be in a slump. Like, what's going to help you? Well, she just got at meditation, and she's used it herself to help herself. She's also done yoga. Mm-hmm. Yoga must be a great experience.
Becoming
it's like
aware.
It's like an active meditation. I know there's other ways, and we were talking about physical wellness also with spirit, and this ties into mental and spiritual wellness with the physical wellness. What are you reprogramming your body with? Are you eating stressed out meat? Like, that is huge. Are you eating stressed? Are you getting stressed out meat? Are you eating stressed out meat? Are you only eating processed food? Well, you're already remade. Like, you're not helping yourself get better. I promise you, if you look at the properties of vegetables and you look at the properties of fruits, there are things in there that will help your mental state. Help yourself with the physical wellness, and the spiritual and mental wellness will fall behind as long as you stay focused and consistent. We trying to change it up this year because it was a bad year, 2017. I saint it with my own eyes. She'll tell you I didn't even know she was down here. Things got real this past week. I didn't know she was down here. And so I know it must have gotten real because this is around the holidays, man. Stuff is getting real out here. We gotta help each other out, and you gotta do whatever it is you need to do, but as long as you're working every day, and I stress this to anybody, be working every day. You can't carry everything the same way daily and think that you're going to get a change. Oh, that's a reason why.
That's insanity.
That's insanity. And that's a reason why I've made a video every day this year. Every day this year in 2018. Why? Because I wanted to make a change. I promised you I wanted to make a change. This feels good. I'm more happier. I didn't even know I could be this happy. I told y'all I was a happy motherfucker a few videos ago. I'm happier. Get up. Do something.
Do something, man.
Help yourself out. It's been great talking because, again,
I'll tell you this. Just one last thing.
Get in.
For the wellness, I began to work. I've dealt with depression. Always overweight. Always been overweight. You can see I'm still a little chubby. It is what it is. But I'm gonna just let you know.
Get how you live, y'all. Don't and
right.
Like she just smiled about that. Be that way about it.
I'm gonna let you know
because it sucks, and that's another thing we didn't even dive into. Social media. Get off social media. Get off social media. I promise you, because the average person gets on social media but before they go to sleep and after they wake up. And if you're looking at freaking Summer Rae and you're looking at freaking David Beckham all the time, like y'all are going to be like, oh man, well, I'll never get there and I'm not going to be that. And you'll just be like, conscious is 30,000 times stronger than your conscious. So when you're programming yourself like that daily, of course you're not going to feel good.
Right. I'm going to tell you this. Always dealt with depression, always been overweight. Began working. I cut out all soda. No soda. No sugary juice. Straight water.
And you hear that? Wait.
Ate well.
You said no sugary juice. That 10%. Y'all think Dole is good. Y'all think Dole is a great product because it's $4 in the carton. No. That's 10% juice right there. 5% juice.
Straight water. Water for my mind. Alright. I'm just telling you. Straight water. 6 months. I lost 80 pounds. My depression almost instantly lifted.
Damn. And you heard it here. Absolutely. I want to do some videos with her. She's going to start her own channel. I'll shout her out then. But until then, like and subscribe. Holla at y'all later.